it's me, Mike, with HPDS. This video will be a reading and a study of Exodus chapter 33. That's Exodus chapter 33. And per usual, before I get started, I will read the Lord's Prayer as written in the King James Version. And it reads, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. So, if you remember, we are in Exodus, and Exodus, of course, is the book of Moses and the people of Israel. Obviously, remember at the beginning, Moses talked to the bush, the burning bush. He was told, by God to go talk to Pharaoh. They did the whole 10 plagues. They crossed the Red Sea. They went through the desert. Now they're at the mount. So they're up at the mount. And if you remember, chapter 32, the last chapter, what happened while Moses was up on the mountain over there? He was talking to God. Meanwhile, down at the base, Aaron in last chapter made a golden calf for the people. So the people were worshiping a false god already. So remember, Israel made the golden calf. God got angry against Israel, and Moses had to intercede for the people. And of course, you remember when he came down, he heard about all this. He broke the stone tablets on his way down. Once he saw what was going on, he went ahead and dropped his stone tablets, and they were broken. And of course, when he gets down there, Moses causes them to destroy this false idol, of course, and he even makes them drink. He makes them drink the water of this golden calf that after he pulverizes it down to dust and everything. So then, of course, if you remember, Moses confronted Aaron, and, he gave him, he asked him what what the people had done that, caused him to, do these things. And remember, there was a whole issue about that they were naked. Remember, they were naked. And of course, go watch chapter 32 to understand what that's all about. And there, I remember I did mention some things about how a lot of versions don't explain that these people were naked when they got drunk and they were partying and they got naked, and who knows what else they may have been doing. If you know from elsewhere in the Bible later on, much later in the New Testament, perhaps somewhere in the Old Testament that I'm not thinking of, but God does say, so it is written that idolatry is sexual immorality is idolatry. Sexual immorality is idolatry, and that these people were already worshiping a false god, and then they go on to they were naked, and we'll just keep it at that. And so, of course, the sons of Levi had to go and kill these idolaters. Remember, they killed a whole bunch of people. I forget what the number was already. But still, Moses pleaded for the people of Israel. And that was chapter 32, and that's pretty much after everything that's happened. Remember, what's a big deal about this is that after everything that has happened, these people have seen miracle after miracle after miracle. They've been with God. They've seen God. They've been seen, and through all of this, these people are still, they're watching the mount on fire. Remember, they're at this mountain, and this mountain has been on fire now for a long time, 40 days at least. More. It's probably been, they still have the nerve, the disrespect to outright say, hey, as for these people, these guys, they thought they weren't. Some of these people, remember I said that they thought they weren't part of Israel anymore. They thought they were going to go do something on their own, because these people, they were mad that Moses was gone so long, and they felt like, oh well, and if they're being freed, everybody's being freed, blah blah blah, and they didn't think they were really a part of Israel, and they were going to go somewhere on their own, and they were going to take their own gods. Like I said, after all this, they see the one true God, and instead of looking to Him, even as these poor people, or whoever they were, these untrained, unskilled people, because you remember prior to that, the chapters, they were building, the workmen were building the tabernacle. The word is tabernacle. So anyway, that's where we're at. We're into chapter 33. And let me go ahead, and what I will do is I will show this nice little slide that I have here. Exodus 33, we've got the Lord's presence, is what I'm calling this chapter. And what to look for in this chapter, we're going to see in verses 1 through 6, we're going to see that Israel is going to resume their journey. Israel to resume their journey. They're going to go ahead and, like I said, they just had this big failure on their part, and a lot of people died, and they were plans to commit idolatry. It was horrible. But they're ready to resume their journey. Verses 7 through 10, the tabernacle outside the camp. So we're going to read about the tabernacle and how it fits outside the camp. And then on verse 11, they're going to come face to face with the Lord. And verses 12 to 17, we're going to see that Moses prays for God's presence. And in verses 18 through 23, we're going to see the glory of God. So that's what we're looking for. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and read the chapter straight through, and then afterwards I'll reread it line by line, and we'll see what the Holy Spirit brings after that. So let me go ahead, and I don't know if I got that going, but let's go ahead and try it again. And I don't know if I have this right. Okay. Exodus 33, and it reads, And the Lord said unto Moses, Depart, and go up hence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land which I swear unto Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, Unto thy seed will I give it. And I will send an angel before thee, and I will drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivites and the Jebusite, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, for I will not go up in the midst of thee. For thou art a stiff-necked people, lest I consume thee in the way. And when the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man did put on him his ornaments. For the Lord had said unto Moses, Say unto the children of Israel, Ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of thee in a moment, and consume thee. Therefore now put off thy ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do unto thee. And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by the Mount Horeb. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregations. And it came to pass that every one which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. And it came to pass, when Moses went out unto the tabernacle, that all the people rose up, and stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended, and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the Lord talked with Moses. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, If thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And the Lord said, Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cliff on the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. So that is the book, or the chapter 33 of Exodus, the Exodus chapter 33. So, what did we see here? We saw that Israel resumes their journey. We're going to see some about the tabernacle. They come face to face with the Lord. Moses prays for God's presence. That's what he was doing that at the end. And then God basically went ahead and, he says, the Lord said, Behold, there's a place, he tells them that, he tells them what to do. And then that he's going to pass by him. And, of course, that's where you're going to see, at the end, where he's going to talk a little bit about the glory of God. But yeah, that's what's going on here. And what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and reread it, because this chapter has some things here. There's a lot, obviously, in every chapter. I say that there's a lot going on in these chapters. And so there's a lot of things, especially, if you notice what happened with Joshua, how he goes and he sits by the altar there. And then, of course, how God tells him, how he's going to put him in this, the cliff of a rock and stuff is what I was getting at. And so there's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things, just like I say, in every chapter. But like I said, I'll go ahead and read it and we'll dissect it here and see what it has to say as best we can. And it does say, And the Lord said unto Moses, Depart and go up hence, thou and the people. So God is telling him, go ahead. All right, now after this whole ordeal with the idolatry, God tells Moses, Depart and go up thence, thou and thy people, which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land which I swear unto Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, Unto thy seed will I give it. So notice that the Lord is saying, even though you guys are, y'all have done so many bad things while I'm up here showing you all these miracles, and these people still don't believe, he still is giving them. He's saying, you're going to get the land. Not, because I swore it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And he says, and I told them that to their seed will I give it. And you guys are his seed. And so God is saying that even though these people really aren't doing that good of a job, they're, and they did, remember, they accepted the Lord as their king. And so that's the whole thing, is he's their king, and he's their king telling them, you guys aren't doing so great. Y'all guys in pretty bad shape. You're so bad shape that you guys are dying. Like you guys are being executed. You guys are dying. You guys are not doing good. But even though you aren't doing good, I'm going to give you the land because I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the Lord here, he pays back his promise. Whatever he says, he does. If he says he'll do it, he does it. If he says he won't do it, he doesn't do it. And that's another thing. If he does it, it's really, his word is his word. If he says it, it is so. And I will send an angel before thee, and I will drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. So, of course, and I don't remember exactly off the top of my head what chapter it was, but he did mention a while back that he was going to go before them. But since this whole ordeal, now he's sending an angel before them to drive. And he says, I'm going to. So now you know that I told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that I was going to do something. I'm telling you now that I will drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusites. And these people, these are great people. Well, they're not great. They're just old-time powerful people. The Canaanites were terrible. They were, some of the most, probably the most immoral people that ever existed, as far as I can tell. Well, maybe not as far as I can tell, but as far as I've come across in literature. These Canaanites were terrible, disgusting, despicable people. The Amorites, I believe, are some of the giants. I think these are some of the giants out here, and I don't remember much about the Hittite and the Perizzites, but I believe the Amorites are giant people. And, and I'll say this, and, people always call me crazy, but, it's out there in the real world. You could go read about it. The giants, that some of these people were 100 feet tall and so forth. Perhaps even taller. They could have been some that were great in scale, much larger. But of course, these people were what we remember if we read about it in Genesis 6. They were some people call them the Nephilim, but they're the giants. They were just something that was going on with the serpent and what he did and all his fallen angels that fell with him. That's what the Amorites were all of these people were subject to Satan and the fallen angels, of course, but in particular, these Amorites were experiments of some sort and made into giants. And I'll just leave it at that, and I won't really get into that for beyond that point. But he does tell him, I'm going to drive out these people, and they are scary people, is what I'm trying to get at the end of this sentence, is really what's going on. And he tells them that I'm going to send you into a land flowing with milk and honey. But he goes on to say, for I will not go up in the midst of thee, for thou art a stiff-necked people, lest I consume thee in the way. So he's saying, I'm going to send an angel with you, and you're going to go drive out these people from the land into a land flowing with milk and honey. So you're going to go to a good land, which we know as Israel. And Israel is a country established till this day. And just in current political news, you remember, I think it was earlier this year, perhaps it was last year, I can't even remember, but it was the 70th, I think it was this year, because I think it happened in 1949, but it was the 70th year of Israel being a nation, and President Donald Trump declared that Jerusalem was the capital that, as far as America is concerned. And of course, there's been issues where the Palestinians and so forth. If you know that, this Bible will make a lot more sense once we start finding out what kind of people lived in Palestine and the Gaza Strip and so forth. What we know today as the Gaza Strip and so forth. The people that lived there were not very good. They were very terrible people that Israel was supposed to drive out later on. But God said, in these times, he drove them out for this time being. Of course, later on, these people, but anyway, the point of the matter is they were scary people, and God was sending them into this milk and honey place, but he wasn't going with them himself. He was sending the angel because the people were stiff-necked. Because he says, if I go with you, I'm going to consume you in the way, and so he's going to destroy them. I mean, just like he's already been doing. They're just so horrible, they're stiff-necked people. And, I don't really want to Google the definition, but keep in mind what stiff-necked means is, they're stiff-necked. They don't really want to change. Even though they've seen all these things, a lot of these people were aloof. Even though Moses was so close and Joshua and them were all close, some of these people were just wandering kind of far off, and, even the priest, Aaron, was with them. So they were stiff-necked people. And so, of course, when the people heard these evil tidings, they mourned, and no man did put on him his ornaments. So the people were really sad to hear this, because they thought, man, and you have to wonder what these people thought. They see God, and God is this supernatural being. He was fire and clouds up in the sky, and he was setting the whole mountain on fire, and he was dropping manna for the people, and he brought them quail and all sorts of things. There were snakes too, I believe, so at some point. But anyway, they saw these things. So what do you wonder where do you think they were headed? What do you think they thought they were going? I mean, at a certain point, you have to wonder if they thought they were gonna stay on Earth, or if they were gonna, I don't know, fly up into the heavens, or go somewhere. They didn't really know where they were. Somewhere magical and mysterious, something outside of Earth, or something different than what anybody had known. You would think that that's what they probably thought. But at a certain point, these people kind of, stopped seeing it for what it was, and instead started seeing it for like a naturalistic point of view. It's just a regular cloud. It's a storm cloud of some sort, they would have thought, and it's kind of interesting what they thought. But at this point, when the people heard that they would be going to this land, yeah, it was a great land, but it's filled with the Canaanites and the Amorites and the Hittites. It's a nice land, and it's probably some of the best land. But because of that, it's also possessed by some of the strongest and most powerful people there were. These people were not weak. They were very powerful. They were very dangerous. They appeared to try, they took the best of the best. They took the best land. Jerusalem, if you remember in the book of Genesis, we came across Melchizedek. And that's who Abraham, and he was from Salem, which was Jerusalem. And so forth. So this place was God's, and these people came in, and he must have, at some point, he let them take over, because obviously he must have been in Egypt with the children of Israel. So God himself would have been, obviously when we talked about Melchizedek back in Genesis, so Melchizedek would have been obviously out there in Egypt with the people, and then when they're going back. Obviously God, the Lord can do all kinds of things, but, obviously he left it, Jerusalem, for those 400 years. And now the Canaanites, the Amorites, and the Hittites have taken over it and so forth. But he says, of course, we're going to I'm going to drive these people out. But that's where that's where they're going. It's a land flowing with milk and honey, but it's a very scary place, So they're mourning. I mean, it's also not heaven. That's what I guess I'm getting at. The Spirit is driving me to that. These people might have thought they were going to heaven, or whatever they knew to be heaven at the time. And you could think about it today, what you think heaven is, or I'm just speaking like a man, of course. Whatever you think heaven would be, that's what they thought they would have been going. We're going to heaven. And then all of a sudden they're saying, oh, I'm not going to send you to heaven. I'm sending you to, it's a great land, but it's filled with dangerous people. And I'm not going to go because I'd kill you guys. I'd consume thee in the way. And so, of course, that's why they're mourning, because they must have thought they were maybe going to heaven or something right then and there. No, they're being told they're going to go to war. So it's so they don't get dressed up. They take, they're lamenting over here. And for the Lord had said unto Moses, so here we say, for the Lord had said unto Moses, say to the children of Israel, ye are a stiff-necked people. And so, of course, the people had been told this. Moses went up to them and told them, ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of thee in a moment and consume thee. Therefore now put off thy ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do with thee. So they mourned and they took off their ornaments because Moses had told them what was up. You guys, take off your ornaments. I'm going to find, and I don't know what to do, what God is going to do with us, with us. But anyway, so the children of Israel stripped themselves of the ornaments by the Mount Horeb. And Moses took the tabernacle. So remember the tabernacle that they had built in previous chapters. Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp. And remember the tabernacle, he took it. Like this tabernacle was, these people, the best people had the best, how do I say, the best workers, the best craftsmen. They all came together and they built this amazing. Remember, like I said, it was made of gold, a lot of gold. I don't even remember how much gold it was, but it was many pounds. I believe many pounds of gold. It would have been valuable, and it had, great craftsmanship everywhere. And so it was their crown achievement, their crown and glory. That would have been their crown jewels. It would have been valuable, expensive. This stuff would have been, the other people around the world would have been jealous. They would have wanted this. Other kings and leaders. This is something valuable. And what did they do? He took it out of the camp, and so he took it away from the people, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that everyone which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. So he takes this really expensive tabernacle thing with all its furnishings and everything, takes it outside of the camp, so it's not even protected. God is making a statement here. God is away from the people. It's like, instead of having a good time with them, he is mad at them. He's depressed. He just wants to be alone. God is alone. I'm not even in the camp, he says. He goes and he leaves. And it came to pass when Moses went out unto the tabernacle that all the people rose up and stood every man at his tent door and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. So, of course, this is funny. So, people, anyone who wanted to go talk to God or sought the Lord, they had to go to this tabernacle that was outside of the camp. So, the camp would have brought safety to people. And so you really had to leave the safety of the people to go see what was up with this tabernacle. And you have to wonder if anybody else from outside of, other people, maybe not, maybe it doesn't say anything, and I don't want to, subject, or not subject, but I don't want to, I forget the word that I'm thinking of at the moment. But anyway, who knows if anybody else, speculate. I don't want to speculate right now is what I was trying to say. But these people had to go kind of into the danger, a little bit. It's dangerous as far as I would say, and as far as I could tell, looking based off of what I would see physically. These people had a camp, there, and remember, they already had a battle earlier, so they've already gone to war while they were out in the desert wandering around. So they've already done that. So they know they know how dangerous it could be out there. And so they had to all go out there. And so it came to pass when Moses went out that all the people rose up and stood, which is funny to me. I laughed and giggled because they were all waiting to see what Moses was going to do. So everybody watched for Moses, and they saw him go into the tabernacle. And so, of course, they all, there's Moses in the tabernacle. They were all very, they were very, very curious about it. And it came to pass as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the Lord talked with Moses. So this was that cloudy pillar that they've been following during the day. It's a very great miracle, this cloudy pillar that's been a miracle to them. That, we would think of clearly like as some sort of tornado, perhaps, as a pillar, but made out of clouds, or maybe it wasn't moving or rotating. It was just a bunch of clouds or fog or mist that we would see. But either way, we would know it in today's world, since it doesn't happen naturally, as what we call naturally. It would be some sort of miracle. It's just a cloudy pillar that was just clouds that clearly were alive. And like I said, I wouldn't say that clouds are alive, but these clouds clearly were alive because God was these cloudy pillars. They were some sort of life, and it was God. And of course, he stood at and he came as this cloudy pillar, and he talked with Moses. So again, another miracle these people are watching. They just seen him on the mountain while the mountain was on fire. Now they see him out in the open territory, and there's a big cloud, just a cloudy pillar that's there, just talking to Moses. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door. So yeah, everybody was watching and they saw this. And of course, it's yet another miracle, the cloudy pillar that they've been following this whole time, that a lot of people probably started or they start, like I said, they would have started seeing it kind of like as a natural phenomenon. At a certain point, the cloudy pillar was around so long that they didn't even really realize it was God anymore, as much as they thought, hey, there's just a cloudy pillar that exists and it's just part of nature, and that's the cloudy pillar. There's the cloudy pillar, and we follow the cloudy pillar, people. Maybe that's how they were thinking, instead of realizing that that's God. And we should have the awe and reverence that we're following some sort of miracle, even though we just see it as some clouds. It's just some special clouds, I guess you could call it. Some people might say that, especially in today's world, I say it like that. Those are just some special clouds. People would be like, yeah, they're just probably special, and that wasn't really God, and so forth. But these people saw the cloudy pillar, and they knew it, and they worshipped. They all went to his tent door. They all knew it. They all knew that something amazing was happening when they saw Moses and the Lord talking. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again unto the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. So when he went to go speak to Moses, just, he was trying to say he was there and he talked to him just like if he was a friend, and the cloud was talking. This cloudy pillar was there. And he turned again into the camp. And so they started going back to the camp. But what happened was so Moses started going back to the camp from after he talked to God, and so this cloud stays there, it sounds like, but Moses goes back to the people in the camp. But his servant Joshua doesn't go back with him. So you see, Moses is going back to the camp, but Joshua, and if you remember Joshua, we've seen Joshua already a few times now, and there's a whole book of Joshua too later on in the Bible that we'll read. Joshua's very important. But anyway, he stays. So Moses goes back to camp, but Joshua stays there in the tabernacle. And so Moses, said unto the Lord, see, thou sayest unto me, bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in mine eyes. So he's asking him, he's kind of getting to, he's saying something like, he says to Moses is talking to God, to the Lord, and he says, you said to me, bring up these people, right? So, but you still have not let me know who you're going to send with me. And, so remember, they're being told they're going to go into this place. And so he's, but you don't even tell me who's going to go with me. And now he's seeing Joshua here kind of stay behind. Moses, so clearly he's got some thoughts here. And he's telling them, and you said, so Moses is saying to God that he said this to him, that he was saying that the Lord knows Moses by name, but that the Lord has also found grace in my sight. So he's saying, so Moses is talking to God about these things, and he keeps going. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now the way that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. So he's really, like I said, he's asking for a little bit of proof of some sort. Not proof, but he's asking, what's going to happen? Show me your way. Show me the way that way I know what it is that you're looking for your people, because they didn't really know what God had in mind for these people. He had no idea. He's asking, you're killing people, you're destroying people, but you've told me you found grace in, and so he's saying, please show me what are you planning, God? What he's kind of asking him, show me I don't know what you want from us, is a good, I would say, a good way that we might understand in this world. When you get the idea of when somebody's asking somebody else, like, what do you want from me? Because they're just confounded with what's going on. What do you want with me? I don't know what's going, I don't know what you want. And that's what he's kind of got this, that's how he's acting. And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. Um, so that was the Lord saying back to Moses, he says, my presence shall go with thee and I will give thee rest. So he's telling Moses that my presence is going to go with you and I'm going to give you rest. You're going to, I know you're kind of frustrated, but I'm going to give you rest. You're going to, and then he said unto him, so now we've got Moses talking back to the Lord again. And he says, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. And he says, and he goes, because if your presence doesn't go with us, you please don't take us up there. So he's saying your presence must go with us. They want him to go with them because they're under the idea that after he tells them, I'm going to send my angel with you, they're over here thinking that God's not going to spend any time with them anymore. But he's saying, no, my presence will go with you. And he says, good. And Moses is kind of good because if you don't go with us, please don't send us out there. So that's kind of what's the conversation they're having right there. And then verse 16 reads, for wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? So this is Moses still talking to the Lord. And he's asking him, well, how are people going to know? How are we going to know that the people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. So that he's really pointing the picture here, like, and he's asking them, how are we going to know that, as of right now, like I said, they've seen these miracles, but these miracles are what we would call, and some people in today's world might just simply attribute to nothing more than natural phenomenon. Just things that, it might be a fluke of nature, but sometimes the Red Sea gets low enough that the people can walk over it. And when that happened, it was really just a coincidence that they were, being chased by Pharaoh at the time. And when they get to the Red Sea, it just naturally opened up for them and so forth. And they could say that this manna that fell on the ground was just some sort of natural phenomenon, or the quail, the natural phenomenon, all the different waters. It was just some sort of natural phenomenon that made this and that, the bitter waters when they were made sweet again, and so forth. You could say that they were a natural phenomenon. And these people at this point, perhaps they were around God now, and God was doing some magic, he was some this cloudy pillar and the fiery pillar at night had been around so long already, and they've been so accustomed to it and so forth, that they were kind of taking it for granted, and they were maybe attributing them to natural phenomenon. And that's why he's asking them, how are we even going to know that we found grace in your sight? Because clearly these signs weren't enough for them to say that they were, had found grace. It just wasn't enough proof for them. So that's why he was kind of logically setting it out there. Moses was setting it, put it like, how, as far as we know, you're telling me you're not going to go, you're going to send the angel with us, but we need your presence. And you're telling us, you are sending your presence. And he's saying, because if we have found grace in your eyes, wouldn't you go with us so that we weren't separated? And he tells them, and that's how we were separated. That's how we find, because you were with us. Isn't that, so how are you going to send your angel and not be with us? But the Lord, and so that's what he's asking God. But the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. So he's reasoning with him. He's saying, fine, that's how you understand it. Sure. Like, if I have to be with you for you to see your grace, and I'm going to do that for you. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. So now Moses is saying, you're going to come with us. Great. Show me your glory. Like, show me who you are, because right now we've just seen these natural phenomenon that potentially we could even say are coming from some sort of magician, a powerful magic guy. Some people in today's world might say, that could have been just the aliens with magical or with advanced technology that we just haven't seen yet, controlling, manipulating weather, whatever. At a certain point, God is saying, show me your glory. Like, or Moses is saying, great, all we've seen are these clouds and these miracles, but no real person. He's saying, you show me your glory now. Show me who you are, your real face as a human. He must think he's some sort of man of some sort, even though he's the Lord God, he's some sort of king out here. But he doesn't know. That's what Moses is asking the Lord. It's getting very intense. They've been seeing all these miracles, but like I said, you would think these miracles are just, nature that's being up, it's just natural phenomenon that God is in control of. And now he's asking to see him, like, for real, his real body or something. And so that was, this is Moses. I beseech thee, show me thy glory. So, and then Lord says back to Moses, and he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And so he really tells him, this is the glory of God right here. So this is God telling Moses, I'm going to make, okay, good. Okay, fine then. I'm going to make all my goodness pass in front of you. And I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you God and the man. And will be gracious to, and well, he's saying, I'm going to show you, I'm going to pass by you in my form, and you're going to, and we'll proclaim the name of the Lord before, just basically that's what he's saying. He's going to show you and you're going to see all this. But then he also throws in this, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. Because, and like I said, and going on, and he also tells them, thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. So he's saying, when I pass by you, he's going to pass by everybody, not just Moses. Everybody's going to see him. But he tells him, you're not going to see my face though, because no one can see my face and live. And so he's really telling him, you can't see my face and live. Or at least he's telling these people in Israel at the time. You people, and obviously they were idol worshippers, their main priest, their high priest Aaron, made the golden calf for them. Remember that. The whole nation is corrupt. And so he's telling them, that nation that was corrupt, none of you guys can see my face. None of y'all can see me and live. You're just going to see my goodness pass before thee. And the Lord said, and so the Lord continues on, behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. So he's telling Moses, there's somewhere close by, and I'm going to have you go stand up on that rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cleft of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. So he's saying something strange. So like I said, Moses and them are thinking of God as some sort of a creature, some sort of a human being or something like that. And that's what and so now he's seen all these, what he would call maybe magic tricks, with the cloud right here, the cloudy pillar, or the fire pillar by night, or, remember all the rock, the rock with the water, and also the Red Sea, and also even the 10 plagues, all these miracles, remember. So he's thinking that all these miracles are some sort of like magic spells or conjurings or something, that's some sort of creature, like a man or something. And that's what he's really kind of, that's why he asked him, so show me thy glory. And so now God is saying, okay, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to show you my goodness. Remember, my goodness and my glory is going to pass by, and you're going to be in this rock, and I'm going to put you there, and I'm going to cover you with my hand while I pass by. So this is some kind of weird. It's like, and I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. So he's telling him, when you see me, I'm going to cover you up, and you won't see my face, but as I'm walking past you, I'll let you'll be able to see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. So that's what he was telling Moses and these stiff-necked people at that time, what was happening. And they wanted to see a person or a creature or something. So God showed them, I'm going to show you this. This is what, because remember, later on we do know that God is invisible, and then Jesus Christ is his son here on earth. So, and the son has the power of the Father, so forth. Anyway, But anyway, the point of the matter is they were looking for some sort of a person or a creature or something. But God is saying, you know what, I'm going to show you something. And that's just kind of how he ends. And he kind of explains that you're not going to see the front of me. You're just going to see the back of me. And that's it. And that's what he's got. And we'll read on later on about that. But anyway, that is Exodus chapter 33 in its entirety. Yeah, there's a lot to it. And there's more. There's going to be a little bit some more going on towards it, you know. But anyway, the point of the matter is that's Joshua, remember, stayed behind. Moses went back to the camp and he asked God, you know, while he stood there with this cloudy pillar, and this cloudy pillar, you know, it's a cloudy pillar. It's not a real man, not like a man. He wasn't standing next to another guy or another male or not, you know, he was just standing there with the cloudy pillar talking to him. And so like I said, it's some sort of strange natural phenomenon. And all the while now he asks him, he's like, I have to ask you, God, who are you? You know, I know I'm seeing all these miracles and magic powers, but I'm looking for a person here, a creature, something, you know, and that's what's going on. But like I said, I will go ahead and end this. I'll go ahead and end it now, this video here. But that was chapter 33. And I'll go through. I'll do the whole little if you like what I'm doing, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for future chapter by chapter Bible study. Beyond that, I'll just go ahead and say, God bless you to anybody who may be watching this. And I pray we bless you. I pray that we all bless Jesus Christ, and may Jesus Christ bless all of us. Amen.